All right, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, as always, seeing that the glass is half full, not that it's half empty. That's the way Mahendra Singh Dhoni is. We've got Rasesh Mandani joining us from Joburg. We've got Nikhil Chopra in our studios. Let's go across to Rasesh Mandani first up, because I have a very important question for you, Rasesh. You know, just a day ago, you showed us the grass, the fairly, let's say, liberal sprinkling of grass on that Joburg wicket. Do we have any news on whether it's been shaved off or not?
Some of it, Siddharth, but it isn't just the grass. It's the very nature of the Wanderers track which is not going to change. Graham Smith came out and said that he believes South African conditions are the most difficult to play anywhere in the world. MS Dhoni came out and said that he expects the wicket here to bounce a lot more than Durban, and it's going to be a challenge. The curator has said that there will always be bounce. The talk will always be centered around that additional bit of bounce, and I think the Indian team is bracing up for it. It's not just the bounce, it's the movement. I think more than the swing, it is the seam movement that the Indian openers and the middle order will have to counter. I think it's important for all those reasons that the middle order isn't exposed to the new ball so early if India happens to bat first, of course, because Tendulkar was known to be the perennial 10 for 2 man. If this inexperienced middle order ends up being exposed to the new ball, then things can go downhill. That's why I think it's important for Indian team, with whatever preparation time they've got, to be able to find ways through which they can tackle the bounce. You can do it stylishly, you can do it like in a workman-like fashion. Every batsman have their own ways of doing it, but the bounce they will have to contend to, and they will have to work their own ways of dealing with it.
Well, they certainly will have to, given that South Africa announced their 11 and it has pacers like Dale Steyn, Morne Morkel and Vernon Philander. They're certainly going to be a handful, aren't they, Nikhil?
Siddharth, I guess that's their strength. Pace and bounce, we're playing in their home conditions. It's like when any touring team comes to India. Our strength is the spinners, and the ball starts turning from day one. So expect, of course, lots of bounce, pace around, and if Team India, God forbid, lose the toss, it will certainly test the skills of the opening batsman and at least the top three. Rasesh is 100% spot on when he says, do not expose that middle order to the new ball. It will take some batting to try and make that new ball slightly old. That's when that middle order can go out there and fire all cylinders.
Absolutely, and that is why so much of the onus rests on Shikhar, Dhawan and Murali, Vijay. But let's hope that Mahendra Singh Dhoni makes just about everyone's job easier, and that it's South Africa who actually have to bat first. Rasesh Mandani was there at the practice session of the Indian team, and here's the report that he's filed.
The Indian team's net session are underway here at the adjoining areas, but the bowlers who are sure to play in the playing 11 are acting a little differently, practicing a little differently. Behind me, one can see R. Ashwin and Ishant Sharma bowling to a single stump. Ishant Sharma, of course, measuring up the tape with his run-up and then looking to bowl at a single line, assisted with the support staff. Someone like R. Ashwin is looking to do the same as well, bowling to a single stump. For fast bowlers, of course, lines are universal in test match cricket, but it's essential for Indian fast bowlers to be able to find the right length in these conditions. Ishant with a little bit more confidence now after having done well in the last one-day game. For someone like Ashwin, this is a crucial tour. He is the only spinner in the bowling attack, and he hasn't played enough in overseas conditions. He would, of course, he's looking to bowl round the wicket, over the wicket, looking to find the right length to bowl at. He would, of course, know that he would not possibly get too much spin in these conditions, but that extra bit of bounce that he may get, he would be looking to exploit that. One could also see Zahir Khan here preparing himself a little differently, like he always does not bowl full steam a day before the game, but having a 30-minute session fresh from the workouts that he's learned from Bloemfontein in France, the session that he's had, looking fitter than ever, also taking out time to give assistance to the rest of the seam attack. The Indian bowling attack will be key, as MS Dhoni said in this test match. The need to pick up 20 wickets, and for the first time, the Indian bowling attack, for a change, is more experienced than the Indian batting attack going into test match cricket. How things have changed in Indian cricket. The bowlers, of course, for that reason alone, will have to burden a lot of the responsibility to assist the batsmen and try and help India create history in this series.